We're live. We got two cameras going on. Tuddy, I'm here with Ben the Baker Neumann.
Howdy.
Whew! We really dialed this in a little bit late. Ben, when did you get here?
45 seconds or so ago.
That's right. I really like that.
What? Thought I'd keep you nervous up to the end, you know?
Yeah, you sure did.
I got it dialed in, you know. I work here every day, so
right.
My commute is to the second.
Yeah. So we're here talking with Ben about his big fight coming up.
Yep.
Legacy Fighting Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Mystic Lake Casino.
Yes, sir.
June 1.
Yep, June 1st, Friday night.
You excited?
Yeah. Come back here, hopefully get a win, get back to the win column.
So you lost your last one.
Yeah, that was a title fight.
Yeah, it was a title fight.
Yep. I hadn't lost in the previous 2 or 3 years before that, maybe 2.5 years before that. So a good streak going, 3 or 4 wins going into that. And fought a real tough fighter. He was a black belt and a tough wrestler and a power puncher, which is a tough combo to go against.
It is. That is.
We had a close first round. I kind of edged him out on the first round, I guess, barely. I mean, not much happened, and caught me in the second round. So,
yeah.
And then, you know, last year I took the rest of the year to work on the bakery and work on some other skills, and now come back in there and get a good string going. Hopefully I can fight now if I'm healthy again, get a win, fight September, fight again in November, get a few in a row.
So your other skills, the baking.
Baking.
It's one of your big skills.
That's one of my, hobbies.
So I've been watching you on Facebook, right?
Yep.
And I noticed that you converted your garage into a bakery.
Exactly.
So where did this love of baking come from? Why the baker? When did all this start?
Sure. Well, I didn't know anything about cooking or baking or anything until I think it was when I was over in Iraq. I started getting into actually like a lot of health food, and I was researching a whole bunch of things in my downtime in Iraq. And you go down the rabbit hole enough, you'll get into like raw foodists and crazy people. You get too far down the rabbit hole,
right? And
then I dialed myself back a little bit. But I was pretty healthy when I came back from Iraq. I was just training nonstop at the Cove.
Yep.
And I had no sugar, white flour, anything in my house. You know, it was just clean. Like it was that hardcore, no fast food, anything for like year and a half when I got back. And then we had this church function, like a potluck, you know, with the old ladies bring the food and everything. And I thought, I'll bring like these carob bars. It's not even chocolate chips. It's like carob chips.
Carob? What's a carob?
It's like a hip version of a chocolate. It tastes pretty bad.
Yeah, but you brought it.
Yeah, I brought it, and it's got like honey instead of sugar and all this stuff, right?
To the church.
And
no church ladies.
And no one ate it. Like it was. No one touched it. And speaking.
Ding.
Ding.
Ding. Ding. Speak of the devil.
Let me pull out a couple of pies right here
that
we have in the oven.
So the baker baked. He brought pies.
And
so we can put this on.
I ended up losing to the ladies, the old ladies. And
look at that. What did you get there?
We've got three versions of. I got a blueberry, a mini pie, a cherry mini pie with cream cheese, and caramel apple.
Nice
pie right here. So
that looks good. The baker doesn't disappoint. I'm telling you.
That was the main reason I was late. These were going over, so I just thought I'd bring the whole oven here.
He did. So if you don't believe me,
we got
getting it on.
We got the mini oven down there.
There's the mini oven. I got I got another camera over there, which is hard to maneuver all that.
Too big to move.
Yeah, too much activity going.
Yeah, but in any case, I felt like I lost those ladies, so I wanted to come back strong the next potluck. And so I was like, well, they're just cheating. They're just using like sugar and chocolate and like flour. Right?
Yeah, can you imagine?
So I came back strong. I don't even know what I came back with, but I started on the rabbit hole. Who cares what that is for you? Essentially, let's just make some really good tasting stuff. I was supposed to have my first fight, so now I bake quite a bit on the side. I still do some healthy stuff like whole wheat bread. I'll ground my own wheat to make my own wheat bread with extra virgin olive oil and wildflower honey, that kind of thing. But for the desserts, it's like, as long as it tastes good.
Exactly. If you're watching on YouTube, my phone rang. We really got set up late. I was waiting on the baker. Somebody just called, accidentally hit answer.
Oh,
so in case
they got part of the conversation there.
So in case you're wondering, I'm Huddy, and I'm not very technical, and I have problems. So here we are. But it makes it fun, right?
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
Oh gosh, well my first fight was, it's probably around the time my first fight, 2009.
2009.
Yep. Got back from Iraq 2005. No, went to Iraq 2005. Got back 2007. Started training. First fight 2 years later, 2009.
So you were in Iraq. You were former military.
Yeah, I was, and I had an easy job. I was on base and managing computers and stuff. But it was a couple years gone from home. Yeah. I don't remember anything else. So this is all. If this goes down, I can't help you. That was years ago.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So we appreciate your service. You came here. So you got back from Iraq. You baked. You became Ben the Baker. So what motivated you, or what was the inspiration to decide to get into MMA fighting?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that kind of happened with the overlap of, as I was going to Iraq, we did some preparations for going over there in the Army. Some of you might be familiar. They have a combatives program, which is based on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And a little watered down. It's tough for them to teach at a high level. They don't have enough qualified instructors, but they get the idea of what an armbar is and stuff. And when we had downtime overseas, you either play video games or you work out. They're the two things you have to do on your downtime.
Video games and working out.
So we would just push some mats together in a tent, and we would try and grapple and box, and we would download videos and watch videos, read books, try to learn how to do the moves, and just kind of have fun and really enjoy the competitiveness of it, and like the one-on-one aspect, which is very different from you play football or baseball. You can make a mistake and your team can pick up for you, but not in martial arts or actual fight. That's the epitome of an actual altercation, right? Like, I think of, you would never lose a fight and say, well, you know what, I could beat you in ping pong. Right? You'd be like, you would lose a ping pong match, but I could beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
I could beat you in a fight. So that's like you can't go higher than that. I mean, that's why I enjoy the competitiveness of it. So
that first fight where you want to go in, you walk in, amateur fight, or did you?
No, well, at the time, amateur, I think it was just starting out in Minnesota. It wasn't very popular at the time.
Yeah.
So we just went pro right away, which in hindsight would have been way better to go amateur. And that's why they have it, so you can get some experience, get a couple of losses, and figure out mistakes, and then go pro and protect your record.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. So I did win my first 4 in a row, and then fought a highly ranked guy, and ended up losing and having to learn some lessons in the middle of my career instead of early.
Right. But, so that first fight, you walk into the cage, the door shuts, they lock you up. What's that like? What's that feeling?
Once you're more nerves, and I think most people, most fighters are in a similar boat where they have some nerves maybe walking out to the cage, and once you're in there, once it's shut, sometimes it's kind of sucks to be the first fighter to have to go out because you have to stand and wait while the other guy has his walkout. So you have to be in there for like 3 minutes. But once the other guy's in there too and they shut the cage, like now it's go time. Like now you're calm. Well, I'm more calm now than I used to be.
Yeah.
But you're very focused and you can block out a lot of things. And it's just you and that guy now. Yeah. So, the advice my coach Nate Howe gave me at the time, he's like, you just stare right at his eyes. The second he walks into the cage, you just stare right at him the entire time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see the guy kind of look away, like he doesn't want to make eye contact with you. And that's what that guy did. He was pretty nervous. And actually, it was his second fight. I think it might have been his first. I think it was his second fight. But he just, nowadays, people don't touch gloves as much, but they used to touch gloves a lot at the beginning of the fight.
Right.
And so you go touch gloves. He pretended to touch gloves and then punched me over the top.
Really?
And he just sprinted at me with punches off of a fake glove touch. And he just rushed me against the cage. So
what a jerk!
It was
that's a jerk move.
It was a little bit. His name was Faustino, the mean Latino Moreno. So I should have known going in that he was going to be mean. But then I kind of drove up the cage, picked him up, and I could tell as soon as I put him against the cage, he was not a grappler. Yeah. I could just feel he was a striker.
Kind of like when you put me into the wall, you can kind of feel I'm not that good at
This guy was way lighter than you, though.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm 230 or 240.
And this is when I was fighting 155. And so I just lift him up, dump on his head. He almost got knocked out from the slam of landing his head on the ground because he didn't know how to land properly. And just took his back and just wailed on him until the refs kind of stopped it due to strikes. That's the only fight I haven't submitted someone. I could have gotten rear naked choke, but I was like, this is my first time. I've never hit someone in my life before as hard as I could, so it's kind of fun.
Well, I was on SureDog. Your record says you're 12-5.
Yep.
But it says you have 10 wins by submission.
Yeah, and they'll have like one. I think one they call it like verbal submission. A guy tapped to elbow strikes. Some people some databases I think count it as a submission because he yelled.
He gave up?
Yeah, so I don't know how that works.
Quitter.
And then this other guy, I think there was only two striking based ones I have. And the ground. I have 0 knockouts. I dropped a guy once, but he popped right back up.
Right.
That's all right. That's the extent of my striking from standing.
So you're getting ready for this fight coming up. This Cooper kid.
Super duper
Bobby
Cooper.
Do you know him?
No. Just now I know the name. And getting ready to face me and watch the video and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's mainly a boxer, it appears, and he's very good at what he does. You know, he's a lot of wins off of...
A lot of decisions.
He's kind of outpointing. You know, he's a technical guy. I bet he's slippery, and he's never been submitted before in his pro career.
Right, which says something.
So, so I think it's going to be... I think in that way it's a fun matchup because virtually all my wins are by submission. Right. And his wins are by decision, or sometimes outpointing guys or knock him out here and there. But he's tough to submit, so I think it'll be kind of fun to maybe it'll be more of a chess match. In this one.
See what he can do. So fight camp, you got another one. You were supposed to fight a while ago.
Yeah,
right?
December or so I was going to, and it's the only second fight I ever canceled. Due to injury. It was a small injury, just messed my toe up a bit, fractured it, but I didn't want to just push through and make it worse, and it wasn't. It was early enough where it wasn't going to affect the company to cancel. I just sent them an X-ray of the foot, and they're like, "Oh, not a big deal. We'll enough time to find a replacement for you." And they said, "Just when you're healthy, come on back." So I was rescheduled for now. The other time I canceled for a fight was maybe like my 6th or 7th fight. I dislocated my knee in training. That was a bigger deal. That was a bigger deal.
I've dislocated the knee before myself.
And then multiple times, oftentimes, then they go out a few more times.
Yeah, they do. I walk with a little bit of a limp. Usually it's after helping Ben in his fight camp, but that's how it goes. So now you've been around this game for quite a while. I mean, you're 12-5, so you have 17 fights. What's the goal?
8 years. Well, the goal is definitely to get to the UFC. My timeline, I'm fine being kind of patient with it. As you know, so I'm trying to balance a few things. Family, and career, and side business, and everything. So of course, if I quit all of those, had no family, just did what some guys do, is live in a apartment for $400 a month and just train, I think I could get there faster. But I'm trying to see if I can still get there. I have a longer timeline too. I think the way I fight, I can fight till I'm 37, 38, 39. Because I'm not an explosive power speed athlete. I'm more technical. So I think that's going to affect me less. Smaller guys have to stop fighting when they're 33, 34. They feel slow. But I don't think that's going to affect me as much.
Well, which is good. Because when you get to my age... crusty old 42, you're just slow naturally. You don't have a choice. That's just how it goes.
Down. It's just life.
It does, it is life. So then the goal is the UFC. And you've been training jiu-jitsu here at the Cove the whole time.
10 to 11 years, about almost 11.
That's a long time to be training jiu-jitsu. When did you decide, when you first started training here, when did it click for you that this is something you wanted to share with other people and teach them and become an instructor?
That was maybe about maybe 2 years or so. And I didn't really think it would be a way that it is usually tough to make a living at all. Being a martial arts instructor, and I was going to college for computer science where you could make a good living. But it wasn't something I was passionate about at all. And I just around the 2-year mark, I started just kind of being like an assistant instructor, helping out here and there as like a part-time job. I can do this while I'm going to college, and I enjoy teaching and helping, and just being immersed in it all the time is great. But I didn't think it could be a career. And right as I was about to graduate, I was talking to my head instructor, the owner here, David Arnebeck, and he went over some options of how you could make this an actual career and support a family while you're doing what you enjoy. So he kind of shifted some things around, and now instead of having to drive to all 3 of our schools, I just have one school to manage and get to know the students really well and really help them individually more. It was tougher before. We'd have 3 schools in the Twin Cities area, and you would drive to all the different schools and have to try and learn 300-400 names.
Really?
Right? And so that's a lot tougher. So I mean, honest, a lot of times I didn't know the newer people's names. You're trying to help them, but you can't. Oh, what's that guy's name again? And now it's much easier.
Hey guy. Hey gal.
Exactly.
You just need to.
Hey buddy, you just gotta put your hand over here.
Right.
And now you got one of those schools that I can really focus on and help the guys really progress a lot faster.
Yeah, and there's great instructors at the other 2 schools.
For sure, exactly. So
right
we got the similar version of each person working on the same moves every week.
It's really good. It's a good program. I love training here. I do. It's great. This is like martial arts to me means a lot in my life.
Oh yeah.
I was involved in it when I was young. Then I got busy.
What did you do as a?
It was a place called Chungmu Kwan.
Okay.
I don't even want to get into the craziness of that. They're like, if you Google Chung Moo Kwan.
Okay.
Like they're crazy stuff about it.
Was it more of the no touch type of
no,
thing?
No,
okay.
Oh, you touched.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hardcore.
Yeah, it was pretty hardcore.
You're breaking bricks, that kind of stuff?
Not bricks, but each other kind of.
Okay,
It was
gotcha.
pretty hardcore.
And what ages were you working those?
I think I started there when I was 13, 14,
okay.
15, 16.
And you're sparring some older guys, probably some adults, I bet.
Yeah, so it got pretty aggressive, but I knew that, I liked it. Anyway, it didn't matter. I don't mind getting beat up. I've been in a few fights before in my hockey world, I've been in a few fights there and different types of things. So combat was something I always loved.
Yeah.
So I knew I needed to get back to it, but throughout my life, life happens.
Yeah.
You get married, you have the kids, you got the mortgage, and trying to manage work, a business, whatever, gets in the way. So I was really happy I was able to find my way back and find a school like this. I really enjoyed my time here.
Yeah.
So I can see why that, when someone, like since I've started, all the guys that started about the same time as me, like a lot of them are assistant instructors now.
Yeah.
So I can see how it just becomes part of your life and your culture.
Yeah, they want to kind of give back and help the other students, and because people usually helped you on the way up. And
right, absolutely.
It's kind of nice to give back and help them once a week or that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So training camp, what's that been like for you?
Pretty good. It's kind of nice. I like having the structure here. We don't have a fight team per se. Some other gyms in the area will have a fight team they advertise, and I actually like to structure. I would have a fight come up, I'll structure things around what I need. Right, so a couple of nights I'll have what I call an advanced MMA class, kind of like a sparring class. Which run more like rounds, hit it every round, every 5 minutes, get new guys in, and since it's I'm running it, I'll just choose in fresh guys. I'll have one guy rest, and I'll spar with a guy. The other guy will be fresh coming. Just have fresh guys rotate on me. Whereas if you're in a fight team, you can't structure just around one person.
Right.
Because everyone's got fights coming up at the same time. So I'll do it that way. Then I'll have 2 nights a week working with some of my upper belts or some of my guys that I want for specific reasons because they're a little bigger or they're stronger or they have good techniques, they're good wrestlers or whatnot. So I'll work with them one-on-one. And I got strength conditioning. I do my 5-6 mile runs in the woods, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 5-6 miles and runs in the woods. I personally would rather take a cab.
That's to the woods, huh?
Yeah, well, wherever. Just
wherever.
Get me in that cab or that Uber, whatever, and let's go.
It's kind of fun in the winter. It's interesting because you have a foot of snow you go running through.
Yeah.
And finally the snow's gone now, so my running times they dropped like 8 minutes. I'm so much faster now.
Yeah,
I've really improved over the last few weeks.
And you take your dog Rambo.
Yep, I'll bring Rambo with. I have more so in the winter. He
Yeah.
overheats a little, and he slows me down a little bit in the summer. I can go a little faster, and he's going a little slower.
He's a husky.
Yep. Alaskan Husky, or Siberian Husky. Sorry, so he overheats sometimes.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Unless you go early morning, he can handle it.
So is most of your or all of your training as far as your martial arts goes, is it all here?
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
When I first started, I used to do a little bit of boxing with my friend and boxing coach Herman Gilbert, and he was a family friend and lived across the road from me, so I used to box with him, just kind of getting on the fundamentals. I never went far with boxing. I enjoyed the mixed martial arts more. But I still have him in my corner. He helps. I like having him there. It keeps me calm. It's just, he's a good friend. So I like having him there during the fights. And once in a while I get to work with him, but not too often. It's kind of tough to line up our schedules. But so pretty much my martial arts training is here at the Warriors Cove.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you mentioned that your head coach or one of your main coaches is Nate Howe.
Well, now he kind of corners me, so I don't.
He's your corner guy.
So he's
okay.
I have a fight coming up. I was, hey man, you got this date open? Can you come corner me? Because he had cornered me, and he was coaching me my first 10 fights in my career.
Yeah, so quite a long.
So he knows my style.
He knows you.
He knows my style real well.
Yeah, knows how to talk to you in between rounds.
Yep. So again, I'm really comfortable having him. He's actually got. I think he's out of town for this fight, so I'll have Herman, and not sure if I'll get a second person. I might just have Herman.
I'm available.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, come on.
Use you for intimidation purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Stand there and stare at the guy. That's all I need to do, right?
Yeah.
So then, with the Warriors Cove here, I notice we got a couple other guys fighting on that card.
We do. So we got Dan Soriano and Thomas Fevering. So both some skilled guys. Thomas just had his first fight a few months ago.
Yep, I was there for that.
Yeah. He's a very skilled guy. He's a skilled striker. Didn't end up winning his first fight, but that's what the whole amateur deal is. Getting experience. A lot of times people can have some extra nerves, or they don't know. What pace it's going to be at. Sometimes the pace in a fight, oftentimes the pace in the fight feels different than your sparring pace in the gym. So I think he's dialed that in a little better, and he
Yep.
should have a good second fight coming out, an even better second fight coming out now.
Now you cornered him.
I did, so I cornered him and Dan Serrano for both their fights. For this time around, I won't be able to.
Right, because you're fighting.
Yeah, I'll be fighting the same night. So
Yeah.
it's just, I used to do that. I used to try and go back and forth on the same night I would fight, but it's too much mental. You're splitting your mental energy too much.
Right, and this is a big fight for you.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
don't want to
this is
lose
a big
two in a
deal.
row.
No.
You don't want to lose two in a row.
No.
It's not looked well upon. I'll have to bump off the main card now.
Yeah.
The undercard, have to work your way back up.
Yeah, and that sucks. We don't want you to do
It's
that.
a tough sport because
Yeah.
you know, if you're playing baseball, I have no idea what hockey's like, but baseball, you what 130 games or something, and you could lose
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 10 in a row. Who cares? You can come back and get the next 20.
Yeah.
But in MMA, you only fight 2 or 3 times a year. Right, you got to work your way up to
Yeah.
this, and then you lose 1 or 2. Sometimes you're not going to be called back. If you're in the UFC, you lose 1 fight. Oftentimes you're cut.
Yeah, you can be done, which is amazing how fast you can fall.
Yes.
In that,
Yes.
I mean, I've watched the UFC for years. I'm a big MMA fan, and
Yep.
there's guys that have highlights, but that's all they have.
Yeah.
Is the highlight.
Yep.
You've never seen them again. Because they came back and they lost their next fight, and that was it. They were done. You know?
Oh yeah, and I fought a few guys that have been in Bellator for a couple of fights and won one, lost one, turned left, or been in the Ultimate Fighter house and that kind of thing. So I fought some of these guys at this level, and they didn't quite get to stay there, so that's why I'm fighting them.
Right.
One day I'll work my way up and being there with the.
So how does that work?
guys.
Like what's the? I see you're trying to get pyro.
Oh, I gotta. It's probably best to wait, let it cool.
Yeah,
Just
let it
get
cool.
antsy.
Yeah. How is that with weight? I mean, your weight. What are you weighing in at right now?
I had to crack down a little bit on myself this week. So I was doing a lot of taste testing the last
Yeah.
couple weeks, and so I was like, well, I'm 2 or 3 pounds over where I normally am this time. So all right, crack it down more this week.
Yeah.
I just dialed it back in. So
I
got spreadsheets on spreadsheets of my weight for
Really?
the last 10 fights every day. It's logged, so I know exactly where I'm at. I'll never
Wow.
miss weight, but
I'm not
tougher.
cutting weight or worried about it.
We got 3 pies for you.
Right, yeah. I can't go that crazy. All the sugar will.
Right before training. It'll
Yeah,
be great.
yeah, you'll really love me. Really full of energy. So what I want to talk to you about is this process that you're in with Legacy Fighting Alliance, right?
Yep.
So you've been with they just merged a while ago?
Yep. So that was last year, I believe. It was Legacy and then Resurrection Fighting Alliance.
Yep.
So RFA and
merged.
Legacy merged and made LFA, Legacy Fighting Alliance.
Right. Okay. So you're in this system, this Legacy Fighting Alliance.
Yep.
What does it take to get to the UFC? There's so many fighters out there.
Yeah.
You see Dana White on a lot of his shows that he's got out there now. He's got a show on. Can't remember the name of
it.
it.
Contender Series now.
Yeah, the
a few
Contender
different things
Series and the show
Yep.
that people are on.
Yep. And
That's-
plus Ultimate Fighter and all these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few routes, right? So those are kind of some shortcut, or it's just a pass ones you can sneak in a little early.
Yep.
Go on the Ultimate Fighter path, that kind of thing. A lot of those guys, they won't do well, and they'll get cut after. But
Yep.
they get the chance, and if they do well, they can make it. The path I'm on is a little slower, steady kind of thing. Work your way up. Really make sure you're confident before you get there. Through the LFA route, usually you would try and become the champ.
Yep.
Defend the belt once or twice. I think they've only had one person that defended it 3 times without getting called up first.
Wow.
So usually it's 2 or 3 defenses, boom, and you're in the UFC. They
You're
have
in.
openings. So I'm sure it depends on how full the UFC's divisions are at that time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're going to stretch and have 100 fighters in welterweight and then dial it down. Sometimes at 80 or 60. I'm not sure. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's some behind the scenes. But if you're not in, LFA, the people come from different organizations too. I think a lot of it is who your manager knows. Does your manager have connections? Of course, you're making big enough splash, so they'll see your fights and catch you. But a lot of it, I think, sometimes is who your manager knows, is being in with a good agency and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Pushing them.
Yep.
Or pushing you
yeah.
to get in there.
Yeah, some people, it's different approaches. Some people really try and pad their record for 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
And then take one tough fight to prove themselves and then jump in.
Yeah.
Which is one route. I started fighting locally, decently ranked guys pretty quickly without an amateur record. So the nice thing is in boxing, like I would be done in boxing if my record is 12-5, right? You can't have 5
you're
losses.
over. Yeah.
But in UFC, your record is more forgiving in a way,
Yeah.
right? If you get on a good 3-4 fight win streak, right, then you can just
Yeah.
they're not going to care
All's
about your losses.
forgiven.
Yes, exactly.
It's
so you
who's
get
hot
cut very
now.
fast, but you can work your way back in
Yeah.
quickly. Whereas in boxing, you can have 70, 80, 90 amateur fights or over 100, right,
Yeah.
and win them all, and then go through another 20 essentially cans as pro, and then have your first tough pro fight as your 21st pro fight. You know.
Right.
So it's a little different.
So then with this guy that you're Super Duper Cooper.
Super Duper Bobby Cooper.
Right.
I love saying that.
Yeah. So you're fighting the Super Duper Bobby Cooper. You win this one. Any idea what it looks like for you then?
Well, I'm pretty sure. Well, I haven't had any in-depth discussion. I'm pretty sure I would have to get a similar streak to what I had last time, a good 3 in a row, something like that. So
yep.
I'm thinking mentally, be prepared to try and get 4 in a row before you get a title shot. You know, you're screwed it up once, right? So they're not going to make it easy for you the second time. You have to earn it. So I'm thinking mentally, if I get 3 in a row against some decently tough guys here this year, and then it'll probably give me a very, very tough guy. For my 4th one, I win that. I would think that would be near title shot range again. So I have to have a really good, solid year with no mistakes.
Well,
no pressure, right?
No pressure. You're good. We'll start with the Super Duper Cooper.
Yeah. Focus on one at a time.
Right?
Yeah.
So with your fights, have they all been local here in the Twin Cities?
Yeah, I'd rather, if I can avoid the stress of having to travel or fly or whatever, I'm going to. Yeah. Eventually, you're going to have to. But I just arrange everything so that traveling won't affect me as much, right? If you get in too much of a habit where you feel like you always need the same training partners fight week, or you always need to have the exact same corner on fight night, it's going to throw you off not to have them.
Right.
I think that would be a mistake, right? So, if I have to travel somewhere else, even fight week is just my relaxing week anyways, right? So I could travel there 3-4 days ahead of time and just relax in the hotel, because I'll just do like 2 runs that week. I don't grapple, I don't spar, I just rest, right? And I'll just recover the whole fight week. So I don't think traveling's going to affect me either way. I can really hear the crowd that much when I'm walking out, so boos, cheers,
doesn't matter.
It's not going to affect me.
So you're pretty fortunate then, because they do come to Mystic Lake quite a bit.
Yes, they come here, and now they have a few more shows as well at the Armory.
Yeah.
So they got 4 or 5 cards a year here in Minnesota.
Yeah,
so
which
whenever
is crazy.
I want, I can, as long as I'm doing well and not having boring fights, they'll keep having.
They'll put you on.
Yep.
So where else do they travel? Because I noticed that when they do come here and I go to watch, I mean, there's guys that really, the guy you in the championship fight, he was from Texas.
Yeah. So you'll usually see roughly half the card are locals, and especially for the main card, the other half will be fly-ins.
Yeah.
Right. And then a lot of the undercard fights will all be local guys.
Right.
Or you might have a guy, you maybe have Rufus Sport Gym coming, so they'll bring 3 or 4 of their fighters, and they'll try to get them all on the card. So, part of it's just logistics. Let's see if we can get fights with guys that can all carpool. And, I'm sure they're running on not huge margins for making a ton of money, so they can't be paying airfare for 15 different guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's part of it.
Yep. Where else do they fight?
Oh, they are all over. I think they're just in Colorado this week here. They're coming up, if I remember right. Yeah, they're down. I don't think they do it East Coast as much from what I've seen, but I've seen the South, Western United States. I think they do at least 8-10 different states, but they're not in like all the states right now. I don't think they currently have like trying to hit every state or anything like that. But they're spread out. They got a lot of talent, and they have talent. Of course, they have guys coming in from Brazil and stuff too. So they have guys from international talent. But I think all of their shows are in the USS right now.
Well, that last card they had here that I went to, that was at Mystic. I know they had one at the Armory.
Yep.
Right on Friday, the heavyweights.
Yeah, I heard it was a really good show.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I was gonna try to go so I could see some other big guys get in there and see what they look like.
That would have been a fun one. 5 rounds. They went all 5 rounds.
Did they really?
Yep.
How is that possible?
I bet they were moving a little slower in the 5th round.
Yeah,
I didn't see it, but
I mean, you see how slow I move after 1 round. That's why heavyweights got to finish.
Yes.
In that first round. I mean, I'm not as big as some of those guys, but I'm like 6'2", 6'3", 240.
Yeah.
It was
interesting. They did a statistical analysis on this was a few years back, but they analyzed every weight class, what the finishing rate was for each weight class, and it was just a linear correlation between finishing rate and weight class. So I can't remember, but roughly, I think the heavyweights, it was roughly like 65% of all the fights were finishes. Yeah. And like bantamweights and little guys, it was more like only 35% finishes. Yeah. It was like 5% bump up every. I think the guys get a little. First of all, they hit crazy hard. Yeah. Right, but also they get a little tired, and one guy's hands are dropping, he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit. Guy. Yeah. Those little guys, a little more technical, faster, not gonna get tired and make the mistakes.
Yeah, and I've heard people talk about the heavyweights and. Why they can't figure it out for whatever reason. Well, why do they knock them out so easy? I've heard that. It's like, I'm not going to answer that. My cranium is the same thickness as yours. And, Huddy.
Hey, we're live.
That's how we are. I'm technical, not really, and I have problems. That's just kind of how it goes. So we got YouTube back for our one viewer. We got a lot.
Make yourself known. Who are you?
Yeah, the one.
It's probably my mom. I bet it's my mom.
Or my girlfriend.
Mom, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
My wife's probably asleep on the couch. She probably didn't tune in.
Yeah.
Also, that's probably my mom there.
So that's good. So you got this big goal, this big aspiration. You want to go to the UFC.
Yep.
You're an instructor here.
Yep.
And now the bakery.
Yeah.
What inspired you to build it out? Do all that.
Well, actually, it was one of my students. Here's what it was. I was talking about making pies. I love making pies. It's my most favorite thing to do because no one does them right. Right? Only your grandma does it right, and you can't get them good at stores. They put them in these flimsy pie tins. So you can't make a good crust.
Yeah.
They use like hydraulic presses and like canola oil to smash out the crust. They're not using like butter and flour and cutting it in like
yummy.
It's horrible. It's horrible. So you can't get a good pie. So like I really feel unique when I can make a really good pie, and I would make those for family and that kind of thing. And then I was telling a student, I'd love to make them for you, but there's just no way someone's gonna pay enough money where it would be worth my time to make them.
Right.
Aside is like you'd be surprised. Like if you believe in what you do, if you have a real high quality product that's very different from other people. Right? People are going to want that for their Christmas dinner.
Yep.
They're going to want it for Thanksgiving. They're not going to have them every week, but they're going to want it. They'll pay for something that's going to be very different from other people.
Especially around the holidays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just kind of took his advice one year, and I said, okay, I just put a Facebook post. I made a picture of like my favorite apple pie that I make, my Mile High apple pie. And I was like, all right, guys, if someone wants to make, get some pies going, it'll be $25 or $30 a pie, right? It's the only way they take me forever to make, almost an hour per pie.
Really?
So they were at the time. I got a little quicker now with more volume.
Is that an hour including baking time?
No, that's just putting it in the pie plate, getting it ready.
Wow, that's labor intensive.
Exactly.
That's labor and love going into those pies. Labor and love.
And 3.5 pounds of apples per pie. It's a lot of apples.
3.5 pounds of apples?
Exactly. So I started, I tried it out, and then I posted on Facebook, and I posted that in the morning, taught all day, came back at night, I checked, and already had 100 orders. And I was like, all right, stop, no more orders, I can't get It was like a month before Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah. So I was like, all right, we're good, we'll cut it off right here, and I spent just nights and weekends. Even my mom and my aunt came to help me on a couple of weekends, and I last with my wife and helping me a couple times, and got them all made. Bought an extra freezer so I could keep them all frozen, just so I could even just keep them all on hand.
So you could do it.
Yep, and it went great. So I was like, well, I think I could at least do this every year, and build on that a little bit. And I was like, I look into the government side of things. How could I do this legally? Because technically that's not legal. You can't just sell someone a pie. You go to jail for that, in theory.
Really?
Oh yeah. This is America.
Yeah, this is America, land of the free. You bake that pie and sell it. We'll lock you up.
The government needs to protect you from pie makers, and there's a carve out in the Minnesota state law that they put in a few years back, where for certain goods you don't need a license or any training. Like as long as you sell less than 10 grand, you can do it. But that's only for like certain types of cakes and breads. If they have a certain moisture content, the theory is the bacteria could grow and you could die. Too dangerous.
Right. So you got to measure your moisture.
So my pies are too dangerous.
A lot of moisture measuring going on.
Right. So I had to go the actual route, and I had to make a fully code level kitchen the same way McDonald's or Burger King or at bakery or anything, just to sell my pies. So I was like, okay, it took 6 months of talking with the zoning department and the health department and all these different town, county, state level agencies to get it approved. So 6 months of approvals, and then about 8 months of construction time. Yeah. Now I'm pretty much ready. I'm just building up some inventory to hopefully have my first sales here. End of the month, I'd like to get a few out there.
Yeah.
But I'm always tweaking recipes, trying some new things. So.
Yeah. So people can show up at the bakery. Do you have hours?
So this would be again pretty unique. So what I do is I actually don't have any ovens in my bakery, so you can't be buying fully baked things. So you bake them at home. You do half the work, right? Which is great because you can claim that you made this. You go. Yeah. You bring it to Thanksgiving. Look what I made, right? This tastes very familiar to the baker's pie. Oh no, I made this, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of like the Rice Krispie treats when the mom puts the flour on her face and has this thing of Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I worked so hard.
Yeah, for health code to get ovens in. Ovens aren't that expensive to get a code oven, like $3-4 grand. But ventilation system would be 15 to 20 grand at the cheapest.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get ovens. I bake the pies up into the point where you would bake it, and I freeze it. I keep them in the freezer, and then you bake them at home.
I love it.
So I'll be appointment only people to pick up. A lot of Cove people, I'll just, what day you're coming in to train, I'll just have it in my car, pick it up that day or whatever. Yeah. And as the business grows, hopefully, I'll do appointments on Saturdays or days I have off on a Thursday. They can come pick them up at my place.
So could you make enough pies where eventually I could go to Cub Foods?
So if things really kicked off, those are some places I've seen. I've seen some places branch out into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or you can do farmers markets. There's a few areas you can.
Or
branch
Amazon.
out into. Yeah.
Amazon just bought Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few routes you could go. And I look at some similar places that are making pies in the Twin Cities area. Not the same way I do it or anything, but kind of look at what they do, and I have a little different thing going on. My website's not currently running yet, but it'll be benthebaker.com. I'll have that up within a few weeks. By the time I release my orders, I'll have the
You'll have that up and running, so we'll make sure.
It'll be benthebaker.com, and I'll get people that are interested. I'll get them on a newsletter type thing. So every week or every other week when I'm making new batches of things, I'll just send out an email with some pictures, maybe a video showing what I'm making. First responders that get back to me, right? Then they can reserve, and when it's gone, it's gone. That'll be
supply and demand.
That'll be how I run it.
Yeah.
And some tweaks over the years, I'm sure.
Yeah, which is good. So I like that business model where
and if I'm busy, I just don't make anything, right?
Yeah.
If life's crazy or I pop out a kid in a couple years, my wife, who knows? Things have changed fast. I'm too busy.
Things are getting crazy.
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
I got to be prepared for that. I'll just dial down the bakery and make more a few months later.
Yeah.
So as long as I got the holidays covered.
So that is the big deal. That's what everybody wants them. So how long do these pies last when you freeze them?
Just from my own experiments, like I kept one in the freezer for over a year and I couldn't tell the difference at all.
A year.
As long as you have a good freezer, it's not dropping down in temperature.
Yeah.
So, because you're not baking it and then freezing it, it still hasn't been baked yet. So I didn't notice any quality change. But I'd probably tell people 6 months or less.
Yeah, probably don't want to go a year.
I would tell people 6 months or less. But basically, I was talking to the FDA people and the Minnesota version of them. Minnesota Health Department, and they were saying all those expiration dates on all of the packages are completely made up. That's not from Health Code. That's the companies that make those.
Right.
So you feel like you have to throw them out.
Yeah.
So the stores feel like you have to throw them out or prunts and buy new product. Like there's none of those are actual real recommendations.
Let's try one. We've been talking about pies.
They look like they cooled off properly.
Everything else,
So cherry, blueberry, caramel apple. Which would you prefer first?
Ooh, cherry.
Cherry. That's my favorite. And I think they're cooked through. Yeah. Again, I had to get them.
Hope they're cooked through.
I had to get them. I was in a rush.
Here you go, honey. Hope they're cooked through. Hey, you're at fight camp tonight, right?
I was.
I'm sure they're good.
I was working the garden today. Oh my gosh, I didn't bring a spatula.
That's okay.
I was unprepared.
I'm sure your hands are clean.
You're gonna have some crumbs. I did. Because I showered after I did the gardening work today.
Got that. Oh, good. I'm glad you showered.
Once or twice a week.
Yeah, that's good.
It's my
So
motto.
I'm having cherry.
This is cherry, and I believe I have some cream cheese on the bottom there.
It looks unbelievable. Tell me about the crust, Ben.
Oh, so pretty excited. I switched over. I finally made the switch to all butter pie crust, which is even better than most people would make like a half butter, half Crisco type thing. But I don't like having the Crisco products in there, hydrogenated, whatever. So it's the all butter.
This is amazing.
Even better flavor.
I had no idea. Oh my gosh.
Then you get the crystallized sugar on top.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
This is like the best ever. How old are you?
I'm 32.
So
I'm taken, so you can't.
Right.
Sorry. Can't have me.
So a 32-year-old dude, former military, that fights MMA and teaches jiu-jitsu and MMA, bakes some of the best pies I've ever had.
Yeah, these are my
That's so crazy.
These are my mini turnovers, so I want to maybe make some variety of them. Maybe sell them like a 6-pack, the same price as a full pie, but you have 6 mini pies. That. Because then, I started making these, then I would come home at night and don't make a whole pie, because then I'll eat the whole pie. Like, literally, I'll eat the whole pie in 2 days. If I just have a mini one, I'll eat just the one. Yeah. And then 2 days later, I'll have a smaller one, or, another mini one. So, it's good for people that don't want to end up, putting on too much weight from the pies.
Yeah. We're going to train hard tonight, right?
Oh, yeah, we'll burn it off. We'll burn it off. We got blueberry here.
Yeah, let's try blueberry.
Use your fork there.
It doesn't matter to me.
And I think these are all. I wonder if this one might be a non-cream cheese one. I'm experimenting with some are cream cheese, some are non-cream cheese.
Okay. So this is
then
blueberry.
Yep.
And then the apple
apple's
caramel.
coming up next.
Holy Hannah.
And yeah, I was working on the garden today because what I got in the backyard, we put in 27 fruit trees last year.
27 fruit trees 27. In your backyard?
Yep.
Where do you live, boy?
I got 3/4 acre. I'm in town. I'm in White Bear Lake, but normally if you just planted a normal, especially full-size tree, that's like 30-foot radius, right?
Yeah.
Or 30-foot diameter. But what you can do is get dwarf trees, and then you can trellis them the way you would grow grapes on a wire. You can trellis trees and train the branches to grow along the wires. So I have rows of trees every 8 feet with growing along wires. And I just started it. So hopefully maybe 4 years from now I'll start to have my own apples, make my own apple pies from my own apples. I have apples, peaches, cherries. I'm really excited to have my own cherries.
Yeah,
cherries
no
are my
kidding.
favorite.
Can you believe all this? Holy damn.
And then the garden-wise, this year I put in our normal garden, but hopefully I sold some pickles the other year. I want to get a lot of pickles out there this year.
You gonna do your own wine?
Watermelon.
You can do wine?
I got some. I have 2 grape varieties growing, so I haven't played with that yet. But I might make some for my own. I enjoy a little bit. Well, my wife, she's a higher end wine person, so she would not appreciate anything that I would make.
Right.
But I won't mind making like a hard cider, like apple cider, like a hard cider. That's more so what I might end up getting to making.
So then, where did you come from? Like where? What city? What town?
I grew up in Hammond, Wisconsin.
Hammond, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
where's that from?
It's like 35. It's like 35 minutes from here.
Yeah.
It's about 20 minutes in 94. I grew up on a farm.
Wow.
My dad's got 1,000 head of beef cattle.
Really?
Still, he's old now. He's pretty old. Not 70 yet. But he's up there. So,
who's helping him out?
He's got a guy that helps him. Maybe split the work about half and half. I'm sure he's still putting in 30, 35 hours at least, working on the farm. Probably more. But yeah, there's a big beef cattle operation, and one day I'd like to have a smaller farm, kind of get back to that, like a hobby farm,
Yeah.
Chickens and that kind of thing. But
you got brothers, sisters, or what?
Yep. Got a brother down in Burnsville, and he's got 3 boys. He's got a whole outfield.
Yeah, he does.
It was always what he wanted.
Are they into MMA then?
No. Couldn't get them.
Couldn't sell them.
No.
Well,
maybe we'll get
you're a baker, not a salesman. I mean, come on.
That's true.
I
gotta work on the salesman part.
Yeah, you do. So Hammond, Wisconsin, you grew up. Did your dad have you doing a lot of chores around there?
Yeah, and that's kind of what really set me back in the whole fight career thing. Because my cousins and my uncles, they're all huge wrestlers. Like my uncles wrestled for Oklahoma back in back in the day. Like I think it was in the 70s.
Yeah,
like powerhouse, right? My uncle's wrestling for them, and my cousins. They one of my cousins won nationals, wrestled for Augsburg, which is a really good wrestling college, right? And so it's in the family.
Yeah.
But our rule when I was growing up, especially when I was younger, was you could do one sport. The rest of the year you have to be helping with chores, and parents, didn't want to be driving around all the time, I'm sure. So I
drive all over the place.
It's crazy, right? So my brother and sister were big into baseball, so I played baseball growing up.
Yeah.
I could do wrestling. I tried it senior year by the time I could just drive myself to practice, right? And I got smashed. I lost like my first 13 or 14 in a row. I think it was pretty bad. And I think I got 6 pins by the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is good. So you go from brutal, not good wrestler to amazing submission artist.
Yeah, that's if you can't take them down, you got to be on your back.
Right.
Essentially how it works. I've improved a little. I'm still not a wrestler per se, but I can get some takedowns if I need to here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anything about wrestling either.
That's a tough sport.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely a tough sport.
Yeah, I was on skates. We got one more here.
Yep. Caramel apple.
Yeah. You didn't even do your own blueberry.
No, well,
I'll
get there. That's post workout.
That's post workout. I'm doing it all now.
I'm half your size. I can eat half as much.
Right.
It's just proportional.
What do you fight at? Welterweight?
Yeah, my first 10, 11 fights were they were 155.
155, my gosh. Yeah. How tall are you? How do you get that skinny? God,
I don't anymore. So I'm 6'1".
Yeah, about my height.
Yep, your height, a little different thickness.
A little bit.
Chest.
Yeah.
But I used to. I had to diet pretty hard, cut a little more in the water weight too. So it's funny. Like I said, I'm a spreadsheet guy. I always have things written down. I was looking through the other day. I have some old, from 10 years ago. I have my old weight cutting. By then, I had some old logs. I was like, wow, I used to walk around And like 168, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'd walk around like 168 the week of the fight.
Yeah.
Cut 13, 14 pounds.
Oh my gosh,
and then
really?
Fight. And then so that was normal. I felt pretty good doing that.
Really? Wow.
But then I started working out of horsepower. I put a lot of muscle. And I didn't realize it. I'd taken a year off I think because I had a loss, and I was working on horsepower. And I didn't realize I put a lot of muscle, and I started to cut my body fat like normal for the fight. And I just realized, whoa, my body, like I can't lose more body fat.
Right.
And I weigh like 178, and I couldn't get any smaller, so I was 178 the week before the fight.
Oh,
at 185. So I'm 23 pounds.
Gosh.
So I'm 23 pounds above. I'm 178, and like okay, now we're just essentially that's just what else are you gonna do? I was never gonna not fight, which maybe I should have. I should have just said I made a mistake, but that wasn't an option for me in my head. So I'm like, okay, we're just gonna basically not eat hardly anything for these next few days.
Wow.
And then the day before I was what was I then? I was like 172 or so. So I had to lose 173. So I had to lose 18 pounds of water in the final day. And it was like 5 or 6 hours in the hot tub. And it was really bad. Hot tub sauna for 5 or 6 hours. And which is all stupid things to do. So now I tell all my students, don't do this stuff, right? You learn from me. It was dumb. It was an accident. I moved up a weight class right after that.
Yeah.
Like, this is silly. Now that I put on some more muscle mass, let's go to more appropriate weight class.
Yeah.
Still, I'm small for my weight class. Just fight bigger guys. And that's what I tell my students. It's not worth it. People die from this stuff all the time.
They do.
They used to. It's much more common in wrestling. They had a lot of deaths in wrestling, and they changed.
Really?
They changed. Oh yeah, in college wrestling.
I didn't
think
know
they had
that.
3 or 4 deaths in 1 year, and that's when they changed the system.
From weight cutting.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. They had one, and the biggest thing, the one guy, he died crawling to the scale. Was what they said, and that's when the whole hubbub, and they change all the rules. Then they caliper fat test you at the beginning of the year. They say, okay, you're not allowed to wrestle below this weight. You have a certain amount of mass. You should never wrestle below it. And I don't think they've had really an issue since then. And from what I know,
they don't have that protocol in MMA.
They don't. No, they put in some tweaks the last couple years about changing the time you weigh in, and they do now weigh you the 5 or 6 days ahead of time. But I don't even know what the exact rules are. You're supposed to be within like 8% or 10% or something of your fight weight.
Okay.
The week before, but I don't even know if there's any penalty for it. I think they just watch you real close, and the doctors monitor you, if you are cutting too much, something like that. But it's not stiff enough. They had one organization. I think it was someone out here will correct me, but I think it was one fighting championship, one FC. But they had a death only 8 months ago or a year ago.
Really? From weight cutting?
Yeah. And the guy died. I'm pretty sure. Someone will correct me. But something happened. The guy died or severe issues. Pretty sure he died. And they said, okay, screw this. We're going to take everyone that's in their current weight class, and we're just moving you up one no matter what you say.
Yeah.
So they took the current champions, because I think Ben Askren was champion at 170. This made him the 185-pound champ. They said, now you fight 185.
Wow.
And everyone else fights you there.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it in an interview, and he's like, yeah, it's great. Now I just don't have to cut the water weight, but I'm still fighting the same guys because they moved everyone up.
Yeah.
So,
which was probably a smart move to make everyone.
Yeah, and the way they try to enforce it is to keep it enforced is they'll do dehydration testing with urine sample.
Yeah.
So they can test that like urine gravity sample or something like that. And I don't know. It's probably a way to cheat everything, right? I don't know if that's a harder one to cheat, but.
I've been urine tested, but it wasn't for hydration.
I'll tell you that I used to always get pulled for that in the Army. I tell you. I think they just kind of picked the guy they knew wasn't going to be on anything, so they wouldn't have to punish anyone.
Right. Yeah. That's a lot going on. So, the bakery, the school, fight camp. Does your wife ever see you during all this? We get some time.
So we both work nights. She's in the service industry. She works at Meritage, a pretty fancy French restaurant. They're rated one of the best in the country, actually.
Really? And, where is that?
Chef owned operated downtown St. Paul. Huh. It's called Meritage. A lot of people pronounce it Meritage, but it's Meritage.
Meritage.
But so she knows. She's got all the wines. She can you can have her taste a wine, and she can almost always tell you the region and sometimes the actual country or state it is from, and then the variety just from she does a lot of studying to be that knowledgeable to serve at that high end of a place. But she enjoys it. So she's busy with that most nights, and she works doubles too. So we see each other a little bit more in the morning, and then at the end of the night after I get done with fight camp, we'll have a half hour, an hour to hang out and unwind. Yeah. But a little different than most people's 9 to 5, and they have the whole evening together.
Yeah. Or if you're like me, you start at 7:30 and not home yet. Won't be home for a long time. Not tonight. No, Ben the baker's gonna punish me. Guarantee it. Can't wait. No, it's always
just
good.
body shots.
Yeah, just
body shots.
after the pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Can't wait. Well, we got fight camp for you coming up in about 10 minutes.
We do. We're getting close.
So we got to get you ready. So we're going to wrap things up. Ben, we got the fight coming up June 1st.
Yeah. And this fight coming up, guys. Again, the main way that local fighters, if you're not fighting in the UFC or Bellator, the way you're getting paid is off ticket sales. So if you guys can come make it out to the fights, just shoot me a Facebook message, send me an email or whatever. But just add me on Facebook here. And I sell tickets.
Yeah.
What I do is I include pie with my tickets. So even general admission tickets, you get them from me. They're $50, and that includes when you show up, you get one of these mini pies. Already made,
that's awesome!
Not frozen, fully baked.
Really?
And cool.
Yeah, and cool.
Right?
So you can eat the pie right there at Mystic Lake.
And so $50 for general admission. If you want table seats, which is the best way to watch, of course, if you can.
It is, yeah.
You can get
high rollers.
You can get cage side 5 feet from the cage.
Like,
stuff is splattering near there.
Right near there,
near there, not on you, because I'm gonna have at least two full-size pies on every table.
Wow!
You got two pies for 8 people.
Wow!
Plus the mini one you get when you come in.
Yeah.
And so those are $160 a piece for cage side tables, and then the tables behind those are $130 a piece. And I still have maybe 20 or so seats left, but hit me up real quick on those if you can.
Make that 18 or so, because you might have just sold 2 to me.
There we go.
Right?
There we go. I am a salesman after all.
You are, yeah, you are. So do you? You're on Facebook, just Ben Neumann.
Yeah, Benjamin. I think that's my actual Facebook. Benjamin.Neumann. I think it's Benjamin.Neumann.
Benjamin.Neumann.
Instagram is Ben the Baker MMA, and so is my Twitter, which I don't use that often. But
you don't get on the Twitter.
I don't understand it. I'm too old for it, I guess.
Well, I get on the Twitter and I have no idea what I'm doing. You know what I just got into?
What?
I can do the Snapchat now.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah, you know why? Because the kids at the Cove, Santos at the Cove, and
Kyle,
Kyle, all those guys, they're like, you gotta get in the Snapchat.
What do you do with it though?
Well, I did a story today.
What's the story?
You take a picture and you say it's my story,
okay,
and you can write little word and make it glow and make faces, and
that's
all
great.
this. Yeah.
So if are you the target demographic for this though?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 42, old, crusty. Yeah, but I did do a video for my story because I needed to know how it worked. So I got on the Snappy chat.
Yep.
And I don't know why I did this because it's only your phone. It's not the computer. But I videotaped myself coming here. It's part of my story, and people viewed it. I think the little eyeball came up.
Deletes out of it. Is that the one?
Yeah, 24 hours gone.
Evidence is gone.
Yeah.
It's like this never happened, which is perfect.
Right. Well, this is there forever because it's there.
This one's
good. So you're on the Facebook.
Yeah.
You got the Twitter, but you don't know what you're doing.
Instagram, yeah.
You got
Instagram, same thing. Ben the Baker MMA.
Yep. All right. Cool. And you're gonna be. What's your website for your pies? Which isn't live yet.
And you can check it out. There's some typos on there. I just haven't fixed it up. So
yeah.
If you want to check out some pictures of the pies, but not much. I made it at 2 a.m. Many months ago.
Yeah.
But benthebaker.com. No one had taken that.
Right.
That URL
I can't
was
believe it.
benthebaker.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, once you get that website up and going, we'll promote it on.
Push it out a little.
Yeah, we'll help you get it on the Instagram. We'll push it for you.
People need to try this pie.
Ben's one of my favorite fighters to support. Aww. Learn a lot. Sweet. Not only is he a great guy, but he's a great instructor. The pies are awesome.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate you doing this with me.
Yeah.
Get a hold of Ben. Get those tickets. Support one of the greatest local fighters we got. He's an LFA star.
3 for 1. We get to watch Thomas Fevering and Daniel Soriano get their wins as well. So
that's right.
It's a great night of Cove fights.
Cove's going.